go ahead and move on to our second panelist, Bianca Webb at Auburn Women's Basketball as the Director of Operations. Hi, Bianca.
Hey, how are you?
Good, doing well. Peter, thank you again. And Bianca, I have to admit, no offense to the other panelists, but I'm most excited for your topic because 2 years ago, I was going on my first foreign tour when I was with the Delaware women's basketball team, and we went to Spain. So, I'm really curious to hear about your first time experience and, what was the most important thing in your mind in picking a company to work with as you were planning your foreign tour?
So first thing, Peter's whole conversation about the money, that is very, very important. So we went to Italy this past summer, but we were scheduled to actually go the summer beforehand. But due to changes in administration and the lack of funds, we chose to postpone the trip. So it is very, very important to make sure you have your funds and everything squared away because you don't want to be somewhere in the world and needing things. So that is very, very important. And as far as choosing Anthony Travel here at Auburn, we have an Anthony Travel rep already here. So for us, honestly, it was a no-brainer to further that communication with you guys.
Well, that's good. So in working with Darren, because that's who you're working with, correct?
Yes,
working
ma'am.
with Darren, what's one thing that he really tried to help make that process easy for you?
So honestly, in the beginning, I was very nervous. It's different traveling to like your SEC games or non-conference games, but going to Italy, I was just like, well, this is a lot as far as traveling. But Darren was so helpful. I want to say Darren and I probably talked every week between emails, phone conversations, and the best thing. We had a game in Tennessee, so we tried to meet to figure out we have face-to-face conversation. Darren came to Tennessee, and we met early in the morning before our game down in the hotel restaurant, and we literally just went through everything. It was just like so refreshing because one, I face with who I've been talking to, and also just to have. As director of ops, I like hard, concrete things. Like
right.
Sitting right here, like I could see everything on paper. We had deep deadlines and everything, so it was just good. So he calmed me down for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, the important question though: did you guys win the game against Tennessee?
Oh, we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, sorry. So Darren didn't bring good luck. I apologize.
It's okay. All right. I didn't hold him to that. Too much pressure.
So when you were in Italy, because when you go on all these trips for conference and non-conference play, you're the go-to person. You're having to do everything and worry about, well, if this happens, I need to be prepared with this. When you were in Italy, were you able to enjoy that trip?
I was. I always make the joke that I can't wait to go back to Italy, minus people just to enjoy. But honestly, I did get to enjoy it. Darren and Anthony Travel did such a great job with just outlining the day from the time we got up through the time that it was time to go to bed. So it was time to actually really enjoy. We had different tours throughout the day, but a lot of it was free time. And for us, we had 6 new players that came in. So it was such a great time to get to know. We also had 3 new staff members. So like our team and everything was brand new. So it was a time for us to just really fellowship one another and get to know each other while having fun.
Perfect time to go on a foreign tour.
Yeah.
So in starting to plan for your second foreign tour, what's one thing that you learned after planning your first foreign tour?
The best thing I learned and like the best advice I can give is to make sure you know the vision of your head coach and or your administrator. One, you want to make sure how obviously the head coach is going to be very, very involved. Try to see if your administrator is too, but the overall vision of what they want as far as like what cities they want to visit, how many tours do they want to go to? Like, do they want to be out all day? Do they want to practice? Do they want to like play games? It's just so much that goes into it. So I would definitely say like just having that communication and that trust between you and your head coach is so important.
Yeah, very true. I'm sure everybody that's watching 100% agrees. Because you touched upon it, when you go on a foreign tour, there's different kind of excursions and inclusions that you can add or, have free time with your team. What was the deciding factors that helped you be able to figure out, we're going to go visit here and this is what we're going to do? What was that process like?
So honestly, before we went to Italy, we had a great plan of going to different tours. But when you get out there, all the travel, and the first day we got there, we toured the Coliseum and immediately went to practice. And then we went to dinner. So it was like traveling all day, you tour, you practice, and then the next day we had a game. So honestly, like, you have to be able to adjust. By the second or third day, an athlete tired. It's hot. I mean, I live in Auburn, Alabama. It's hot here, but Italy heat is different. And just the travel and everything. So honestly, you have to just be able to adapt. And obviously in the Adobo world, that's your main priority.
Multitasking.
Yeah, so just be able to adapt. There may be one mornings and coach will be like, hey, let's just do 30 minutes of this tour instead of an hour. And, you talk with, also Anthony Travel did send somebody with us. So once we got to the airport in Atlanta, Caitlin Rose met us, and y'all, she was a lifesaver. It was just so great having her there. So I just communicated with her a lot based on each day, like the schedule, if it's going to change or not.
We had Caitlin on our tour to Spain, and yeah, she was awesome. She was awesome.
Yeah, great.
Yes. Well, so I asked Peter earlier, what's moving forward in the planning process of this? What's advice that you would give to a director of ops who's planning their first foreign tour? And like, what's important for them to start figuring out or understanding now?
Yeah. So first thing I would definitely say is to honestly sit down with administration and get your financial plan ahead. Once you get that, honestly, just relax. I mean, it comes so easily. And Anthony Travel just really does a good job with ensuring that you have everything you need. And the more stuff you can do in the beginning is better. So like when you're planning a trip, obviously your regular season is going to be going on at the same time. You don't want to be doing regular season work and also summer work. So just kind of have a plan, mapped out, a schedule when you need things done. Make sure you write down everything as far as like getting passports. You have to make sure you meet that deadline. We had to buy passports for like half our team and staff. Passports got lost in the mail. Some passports didn't come until 2 days before the trip. But just make sure you have a deadline just in case things don't go how you plan, that you can adjust.
That's great advice. So thinking back to your Italy tour, I have to know, what was the highlight of that trip?
Oh man, Lake Como was so beautiful. If I could go back there now, I would. That'll be a great place to quarantine.
Take me with you.
It was just so beautiful and peaceful. I love the water. So just being around water, and I love the food too. Food was amazing. So yeah, if I could go now, I'll come grab you and we can just stay out there.
Thanks. I appreciate you. Well, Bianca, thank you so much for your time and great advice.